Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matatya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Sishyam Tam Todakam Vartikakaram Anyanasmat Gurun Santatamanathosmi Shruti Smriti Purananamayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashakridau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samastha Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Vasana, Chinta, Kriya. These are said to be the ones which we need to overcome. And usually we say, Karana Vinashe, Karya Vinashaha. When the cause is removed, then the effect also is removed. But Karanam, Vasana Karana, Karanatvat, Kriyayaha, Vasana Karanatvat, Chintayaha api, Vasana Karanatvat. Now we cannot directly attack the Vasanas because they are invisible. They are not available for us easily. So they express as Chinta, thoughts, and then Kriya. So therefore, in this verse number 314, it is said, Samsara bandha vichitte tad advayam pradahet yatihi. Tad advayam pradahet yatihi. And vasana vruddhi, increase of vasana, etabhyam, of these two, kriya chintaya kriyaya bahihi. Bahihi kriyaya antachintaya ityartha. Externally in the form of action, internally in the form of chinta. Thought in the mind and action in the body. Vasana vrittihi yadihi pradahet. This increase of the vasana should be curbed for the sake of samsara bandha vichitrai, for the sake of snapping the samsara, remove the samsara. So even though knowledge is important, jnanat eva the kaivalyam, it is said, jnanat eva moksha. But knowledge, even when it takes place, it by itself is incomplete without the proper environment in which the knowledge can make one abide in the self. And what disturbs an individual in meditation during the nididhyasana samaye is the ingrained level, long-lasting vasanas. That is the reason why earlier in the very famous verse as we saw, Pratyak Drishtya Nivasati Sada. Sada Nivasati Chet. If a person can remain identified with the self always, and that is not possible because vasanas are so carried on many lives. So that is why, in the Panchadashi also we saw in Sunday, he said, what, even though I know Advaitam eva Satyam, Sarvam Advaitam eva, but then when I open the eyes, what do I see? Dvaita Jagat. Me different from this other person, the world. The whole thing is Dvaita Jagat. How can I not see it? Even though I have the knowledge, everything is one without a second, but I do see this. So then the teacher there said, Dhyaranya, understand Dvaitam eva dukkasya karanam. Causing the sorrow is only the Dvaita, and Advaita is one which causes the everlasting joy because it never disappears. What causes dukkham? It is there sometime, it is not there sometime. So Dvaita Jagat is anityam. Anityatvat dukkham. Advaitam tu parishesha. Whatever is there at the end after you negate everything, that which never leaves you, how can it causes sorrow? Because that is you. So then the Purvapaksha said, even though I want to, and so why is it happening? Tadatmyat. Tadatmya abhyasat. Because you have a tadatmya, identification, which is superimposition. That is the reason why the ahankara, which is nature, is tadatmya, and it does the superimposition of this is important, this is important. So stop that. Adhyasa, stop it. Purvapaksha said, as though I am doing it. I am not doing it. Jatiti. It happens. As though early morning I get up, now let me identify with my body. Oh, now let me identify with my mind. ऐसा नहीं होता है. It is so naturally it happens. Even I don't think about it. Right? Every day we don't think, okay, now what do I do? Okay, identify with the body. Okay. Now what do I do? Identify with this thought. Okay. So that Purvapakshi said, it is not that I decide to do that, it happens. So then the Dhyaranya said, it is because of your swabhava. You have practiced that way for many lives. It has been like this. So it is called Durvasana. It is called the Asatvasana. Now it has to be replaced by Satvasana. So that is the prayas, that is the abhyas. So that is the reason why he said, now Satvasana, how do I start? Where do I start? Kriya onwards, because that is the outermost. So from action, then to thought, and then to asana. So now he says in verse number 315 and 316. Tabhyam pravardhamanasa sute samsritimatmanah trayanam cha kshayopayah sarvavastasu sarvada sarvatra sarvada sarva brahma matravalokanaih sadbhava vasana dhartyat tatrayam layamashnote.
त्रयं लयमश्नुते
ताभ्यां प्रवर्धमानासाः सूते संसृतिमात्मनः त्रयाणां चक्षयोपायः सर्वावस्थासु सर्वदा सर्वत्र सर्वतः सर्व ब्रह्ममात्रावलोकनैः सद्भाववासनाधार्यात् तत्रयं लयमश्नुते ताभ्याम pravardhamana. Tabhyam meaning what is these two? Vasana kriyabhyam. Vasana kriyabhyam pravardhamana sa vasana samsridihi atmanah shrute. It is these two that is in the form of Kriya and Chinta. Chinta and Kriya together, these two together are those which will create the increase of the Vasana, which in turn causes the creation of the Samsriti, Samsar. So that is why it is said here. Sadvasana Vrittiha before number 14, 15. That is Tabhyam Chinta Kriyabhyam Pravartamana Sa Vasana. Pravardhamana. It is increasing. Sa Vasana Pravardhamana. What does it do? It Sute Srishtim Karoti. What? Samsara Samsritim Atmanah Sute. It Janayati. It creates. So, Trayanam Kshaya Upayah. Trayanam Vasana Chinta Kriyanam. Of the three, Kshaya Upayah. Vinasha Upayah. What is it? What is the made to overcome all the three? Because see, interesting thing is, as we saw in the last session, usually cause of a thing which is creating the effect, and cause is that which is causing the effect to come about. But here the effect creates more cause. The tree sheds the seed. When we remove the seed and burn it, then that's the end of the story. But it doesn't happen. The seed becomes a tree again. Not one tree. So from one tree, many trees are created. Similarly, from one vasana, many vasanas are created. Earlier we used to have masala dosa. Now we have pav bhaji dosa, tofu dosa, and chicken dosa, fish dosa. So one dosa is the tree. From the seed of it came so many different possibilities. Spring dosa, vegetable dosa. Why is that? Because earlier used to have, okay, when I go to this restaurant, vegetarian restaurant, I will have only one order to do. Right? Dosa, masala dosa maybe. Two plain dosa, masala dosa. No, there's a 25 different possible dosas are there. Right? Creation, that's what is called creativity. One thing leads to 100 other possibilities. So you wonder, now what should I have to have? Earlier I had very simple thing. Now if you look at children, what do you eat? Cereal. What cereal? Oh, don't ask me that. There are 25 different possible. Coffee. Filtered coffee, non-filtered coffee, then decaf, calf, and then you have Zimbabwe coffee, and then American coffee, and then so many Colombian coffee, so many things. So everything, go on multiplying. Today I will have this, tomorrow I will have that, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. See, this is how other vasanas, how it creates more and more varieties. So from the seed, many trees. From the one tree, many seeds. From each seed, many trees. And each tree can create more seeds. See? So that is why I said that the karya, when it is destroyed, then it does not lead to more karana. So tabhyam pravardhamana, tabhyam chinta kriyabhyam, because of the thought and actions, when the vasana becomes more strong, it creates samsara. Sute samsriti atmanah. So all the three have to be taken care. What are those? Kriya, chinta and vasana. Trayanam shaya upaya. What is that? How is it we to do? Sarva avastasu. In all conditions, sarvada, at all times, sarvatra, all places, sarvataha, in all ways, always, ALWAYS, sarvataha, ALLWAS, on all ways, sarva brahma matra avalokanehi. Entire thing is none other than Brahman in the avalokane. He is seeing that sadbhava vasana dardyat. By the strength of sadvasana, tatrayam. What are the three? The vasana, kriya and, chinta and kriya. Layam ashnute. They become dissolved. This is not beautiful abhyasa portion. Because abhyasastu kaunteya, that is what is a vairagyastu, vairagyena cha kaunteya abhyasena. So what is this abhyasa? That is what is being given here. So, purva bhuktaritya trayanam cha vasana chinta kriya rupanam api kshayopayah sarva avastatu sarvada sarvatra sarvada kalata deshta mastutascha jagratadi avastasu brahma vidrekena kimapi nasti iti. Idam sarvam yad ayam atma brahmeveda shvishvam ityadi shrudibhihi pragadischa pradignya drishtanta anuparodat tad anyatvam arambana shabdadibhya. Everything else is starting with nama rupa only. Ityadi sutraihi mrulloha dundubhyadi drishtantaischa. So if you see a kettle drum being beaten up, dundubi is called. After all, it is nothing but what? Mud. But it doesn't make sound. Does mud make sound? No. But when mud made into a particular form, it serves a different purpose. Mrul loha, mrit loha, because only with the mud and the mineral or the metal, everything is created. So, what is seen is misunderstood to be only the form and not the original cause of it. Like what? Yatra choraha is choraha sastanuhu. Only a wood that is standing there in the middle of the somewhere, from a distance it's this seen as what? Appears like what? Chor. Like a thief. It looks like a thief. Actually, it is nothing but a wooden pillar. Yat rajatam sa suktihi. What is seen as silver is nothing but a shell. Itivat sarvatra sarvatvam bhaditva. In every place, recognizing the false nature of things and removing kevala adhishtana bhuta brahma vyatirekena kibami nasti iti sarva brahma matra avalokanam evam yati jnanam tada yatra dastu asya sarvam atma eva abhu tat kena kam pashyet. Everywhere there is only one who sees who what. Idi shruti anusarena prasopyasya param drishtva nivartate idi smritya cha kwa vishayaha Kotaram Satchinta Kotahmam Bahikriya. If one does not have any more uh, reality to things that he sees, then where is a question of thought going towards that? Where is a question of action going towards that? It is like in the dream, if you have become beggar and you have been begging and you could put the money in a secret place, after waking up, will you look for it? I think I kept it somewhere. In the dream, I collected a lot of money and I hid it under somewhere. I think it is under some, probably some bag in the kitchen. Will you get up and go and look for that? Because that is over, that's gone, it is no more there. Once the falsity of the things are known, you no more act upon it. That's what it means. So, sarva brahma matra avalokanena sadbhava vasana dhardyam tatrayam vasana chinta kriya rupam trayam layam nasham ashmate prapnoti. So, karya nirodhanena karanam nirodhavyam. Removal of the effect will stop the cause. So now he further explains, Kriyanashe bhave chinta
Kriyanashe bhave chinta
Nashosmat vasanakshayah
Nashosmat vasanakshayah
Vasana prakshayo mokshah
Vasana prakshayo mokshah
Sajivan muktirishyate
Sajivan muktirishyate
Kriyanashe bhave chinta Nashosmat vasanakshayah Vasana prakshayo mokshah Sajivan muktirishyate. We have seen Vasana Kshayena Jivan Mukti. Vasana Kshaya Pravakshaya Moksha. Sa Jivan Mukti Rityushyate. But Vasana Kshaya is the most difficult thing. So, what is that which sustains the Vasana is Chinta and Kriya. So, Kriya Nashe Bhave Chinta Nashaha. So, this successively one has to do. By stopping the action, thought about those things also must slowly come to an end. That's why Bhagavan said, when the distracting objects are absent, right, your mind is not inclined to go there. Gurudev used to give an example, very interesting. You'd say that about for this Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasa. When objects are not there, when a person turns away his attention from the objects, the thoughts also will end about that. So there was a small village, a town or village, where there was one shop which sells all the cigarettes for the people in that. So one particular person who actually went there and propagated into the villagers how dangerous it is to smoke, or what will it cause. The smoke will cause cancer and then unhealthy conditions and all that. So somehow he convinced most of the villagers to reduce their consumption of the cigarette to half. If you are having one packet of cigarette, now you do only half packet. The next year you further reduce to quarter, like etc. So you cannot suddenly stop. So obviously when they stopped buying that many cigarettes, that shop had reduced its stock. Because earlier he used to have a stock of some amount. And now since the reduction of there is sale, so he reduced off. The agent comes to sell it, he'll say, no, don't give me 5 cartons, you give me only 2 or 2.5 cartons, because I don't need that much. When the 2.5 carton only, then that salesman goes back to his retailer or seller, wholesaler, don't give me, because I don't need it, because there is no consumption of that. So when effectively the production is also reduced. Is it not? The production is reduced because there is no consumption there. In the same way, when the action is reduced to not to engage in those things which are known to be false, then chinta or thought about it is also reduced. When thoughts are reduced, the effect is vasana will not anymore go in that direction. So from kriyanashe chintanashaha, chintanashe vasananashaha. As I said, we cannot directly go and hit the vasanas. Even in spite of knowing, that's what it is said. Even in spite of the knowledge, there is possibility of, because of swabhav, because of habit, that you cannot stop. The past momentum is still there. The knowledge no doubt will reduce that, but not stop it, but not eliminate it. That's why the abhyasa is given here. Purva purvasya uttarottara ज्ञापकत्वं वासनां विना चिन्तायाः तां विना क्रियायाः अभावात् कार्यनाशात् कारणनाश अनुमेयः इति भावः. From the reduction of cause, the effect will be reduced. That is understood. But the reverse is also possible. That is why he says, Tadacha naishkarmya avasthana paryantam, until the state of no action. Naishkarmya means no action of any kind in the state of samadhi when one goes and abides. Not even a vritti, a thought of action will arise in his mind. Just like when you are similar to going to sleep, you have decided not to act, and that very thought that I am not going to engage in any action, you postpone it. Basically, you say, now it's a time to sleep. Why do I need to get on tomorrow? So you postpone it. If it is not too very urgent tonight, only after tomorrow I will do it. Why do you say that? Because it is not important now. So when we are going to sleep because of seeing the unimportance of it now. Samadhi sthiti is where it is not at all needed anymore. Not tomorrow. Don't say, I will go to practice so samadhi, postponing everything tomorrow. No, that doesn't work. There where you see no need, that is called Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya means no more an action needed in that direction at all. In that way, all actions will come to an end. Having understood the false nature of everything, other than me there is nothing. Then what is the act? करना क्या है? मेरे अलावा कोई नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. Then what is that to? That state of samadhi avastha or abidance is called naishkarmya tatparyantam. Until then, prayatnaha purushena kartavyaha. Until then, effort has to be done. What effort? Reduce the action related to engaging in the world with the idea of reality, by which reduction of action, reduction of thought, by reduction of thought, there is weakening of the vasanas. So that's why he said, tada vasananam prakarshena kshayah siddhyati eva sa eva mokshaha sa eva jivan muktihi ishyate abhipreyate brahmavidbihi api iti. This is being stated or opinionated by the Brahmavid, men of Brahmic knowledge. Uktam hi mukti prahustadiha munayo vasana tanavam yat iti. Vastunah sukshma avastha eva vasana tasyaha tanavam nashaha eva. So, now, and Drishtanta is giving an example for that. Gurudev writes it here beautifully. Absence of vasana is liberation from the thraldom of desires and action is moksha. An individual who has thus eliminated all his entanglements with thoughts as a result of his freedom from vasanas achieved by controlling his action is considered as liberated while living, given mukti. So yesterday also somebody asked this question that I think it is Nandita who asked that question, right? So where what is the nature of a person who is doing the karma yoga while kartrutva bhoktrutva is, how does it appear here? So the point is that bhoktrutva is what causes kartrutva. If I do not have bhoga idea of enjoyment in any result of action, will I engage in action? It is the bhoktrutva bhava that causes the kartrutva bhava, right? So if in karma yoga you said do the action and don't worry about the result, which means what? Engage in action with not prompted by bhoktrutva, right? Because if I am not going to enjoy the result, what should I do? Anybody would ask this question: do action, don't look for results. Then what should I do? Right? करने का है, क्यों करना है फिर? If I am going to not enjoy the results, it is not for me, then why do I do? लोगों के लिए, लोक कल्याण के लिए करो, ऐसा. That is one thing. So that also a form of desire only. लोक कल्याण के लिए कर रहा हूँ. But if you have to do an action where you don't worry about the result, then it must be kartavya karma. Meaning you alone can do it, nobody else. Yeah. You alone have to do it. Who else will do that? That is called kartavya karma. So kartavya karmani bhoktrutva abhava. Is it not? In what is to be done, I do not do because I like it, or I don't do because I don't like it. No, there is no question of likes and dislikes when it comes to kartavya. So when you are doing only the kartavya karma, body is engaged, mind is not anxious about it. Why? There is no result. In kartavya karma, there is no result. Only result is mind become one-pointed in action with no anxiety for the result. Mind becomes calm and quiet even while performing that action. Because there is no distraction. There is no anxiety. There is no disappointment. There is no excitement. Right? So, and kartavya karma, because it is not kamya or nishiddha, etc., even that comes to an end when one crosses the stage in which one has to perform. For example, as a brahmachari, he is studying the study of scriptures, etc., again, not with the bhoktrubhava. I am studying to understand. Nowadays, what do? We study so that I get to college, and then the college, and then I get a good job, and then good job, and then I go to make money, and then all that. So what makes an individual study is again bhoktrutva bhava only. If somebody says study for the sake of study, how many of them do it? If I can get the money without studying and going to school, will I do it then? So my study always has some other purpose than studying. So in brahmacharya avastha, one is expected to engage in action of the study or engage in that studying, not for the sake of what will come out of it. No, study because you should understand this. That is called swadhyaya. Now, in the grihastha also, you have entered into a grihastha where you have agreed to take care of a family. That is your kartavya without expecting anything out of it. The kartavya karma, it has to be done because I have agreed to take care of my family members. What will happen out of it is not my concern. Because they are depending on me, and it is my responsibility which with open I walked in. I myself walked into that. I was not even blindfolded. Knowingly I walked in, so I have to take care of it. Without again expecting anything out of it as a result of a personal selfish thing. When these brahmacharya ashrama and grihastha is over, then what else to be done in the vanaprastha ashrama, where the domestic responsibilities of taking care of one's own family member, children, etc. are almost over, then kya karna kya hai? At this point, the mind should become clear. Then let my mind be devoted to God. Whose maybe in that also there is no bhoktrutva. Because I am indebted to God, I have to show my gratitude to God, not anything else. मुझे भक्ति दे दो, राम चरण भक्ति. Give me the love for the Lord, not for the sake of something else. Nasta dharme navasa nichaye naiva kamo bhoge yatyad bhavyam bhavad bhagavan purva karmana rupam. No, and also I'm not afraid of hell and heaven, and that's not what I want. Edat pratyam mama bhagavadam janma janmantarepi tvat padam bhorva yogagata nischala bhakti rastu. So nischala bhakti rastu, that is the aim of vanaprastha ashram, where an individual is not seeking it for some other purpose. Then sannyasa ashrama is for moksha. I am nothing else, but I come to a stage of akartrutvam. That's a Naishkarmya Siddhi. This action should end of any kind. Even a thought of action should not be there. So therefore, this is the way sarva avastasu sarvatra sarvada sarvataha sarva brahma. That's why it is said that brahma chintanam, brahma matra avalokanam. All right. So this is kriyanashe bhave chintanashah asmat vasana kshayah, vasana prakshayo moksha. Now continuing, satvasana spurti virjumbane sati
Satvasana spurti vijumbane sati
yaso vilinaapyahamadi vasana adiprakrishtaapyaruna prabhayam viliyade sadhu yata tamistra sadvasana spurti vijrumbane sati yaso Jabhamadi vasana adi prakrishtaapyaruna prabhayam viliyate sadhu yata tamistra. Sadvasana, satvastu, about the satvastu, about the atmavastu vasana, atmavasana in other words, spurti, completely, fully, vijrumbane, on that expression, in the total expression of that sadvasana, sati, at that time, he asau this vilina api ahamadi vasana. Then the aham, etc., ego, etc., all the vasanas related to it, slowly they dissolve. Adiprakrishta api, even if they are otherwise very strongly present. Like what? Like the darkness before the sunlight. Adiprakrishta api viliyate. Sadhu viliyate. Very well, they will dissolve. Yata, just like Aruna Prabhayam Tamisra Iva. Like when the Aruna, the first rays of the sun, when it comes, how the darkness, even though thickly there, making everything dark and unavailable for comprehension, disappears. Tamisra viliyate, sadhu viliyate, yata, tata, adiprakrishta api, vilinaha bhavanti, ahamadi vasana. So they all of them will end. So that is said here. Sadvasana vrittihi spurti vijrumbane sati shravana manana nididhyana samskritasya manasah sada sarvatra sadbhavanaya sat samskara spurana buddhau satyam tu asau viprakrishta ahamadi vasana adipadena dehendriya vishaya pragrigraha hi nischayena vilina visheshena nashta bhavati iti shesha. So, what you call, replace the other vasanas, all other vasanas which have been carried by the soul for a long time. It has to be replaced by sadvasana. Now, not one by one. It is not possible. Thought dosa comes, coffee comes, movie comes, this and that. So you cannot go and attack one by one. That is the reason why you keep steadily thinking that I am Brahman. That will reduce all others as even they arise. As even they arise, you don't need to pay attention one by one. Oh, this has come, I have to remove this. This has come, I have to remove this. No. When there is steady thought of Aham Brahmasmi continuously, then all other things that may come and arise, they do not find an expression. They will disappear. Just like once the sun, first rays of the sun has arisen, Aruna, the darkness cannot have any more place to be there. We just saw in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, there he says, Jagat Mithyatvam is Badhyatvam. What is Jagat Mithyatvam? What is considered as Mithya? You can say either it is Satya or Asatya. No, it is Mithya. Why? Because Satyam Ched Narashringa Iva Na Drishyate. Like the horns of a person's head, if it is Asatyam, it cannot be seen. Asatchet na drishyate. Satchet na bhadeta. If it is true, then it will never disappear. So it appears to be there, but not really there. Vicharam na sahate. Until you do vichara, it will be there. Like the snake will be there until you inquire, is it snake or rope? Because by the very look of it, it looks like a snake only. And if you don't ask questions, it will be snake. It will be snake or not until you ask the question. So when you start asking question, that very snake converts itself into the rope from your understanding. Not that it was anytime snake. It doesn't change. But you will come to know that even before I asked the question, it was snake and it was rope only. But that you know only when you ask a question. In the same way, once the light has come, the darkness has no place. Even though earlier experienced darkness, we experienced. Not that we didn't experience. The darkness was there. But because it is experienced, you cannot say it is true. Experience alone cannot be the logic for its reality. That's why it's very interesting. Maya cannot be understood. Later on, we'll say that. In the Dakshinamurti also, you cannot understand Maya with logic. Because it's not that it is illogical. Because you experience, therefore it is true, is illogical statement. In the world, will you accept anybody accept that? Will anybody accept this argument? Just because you experience, that doesn't mean it is true. It is true because I experienced it. But Vedanta argues, just because you experience does not mean it is true. Take dream for example, how true it is. You experienced or not? Yes. So true. Sometimes we have a thought, and because of which we experience also. In example, again, in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, there is a picture of a terrible lion. Like that. And a small child screams out of fear. Experience of fear. Of what? Huh?
No, it's not.
Picture देखने में क्या है?
It's of the memory.
So the fear is experienced by that child because of the thought of lion which was not there. Is there? In the middle of the drawing room, in the concrete jungle, in a fully lit room, there is only a picture there. How can the picture can cause fear? Because the child does not know it's a picture. But the picture creates certain memories. And the memories trigger the experience. Is it not? Same as the dream also. Dream, there is nothing really happening. What is happening is triggering certain memories. And those memories causing the experience. When the same picture is seen by an adult, oh, beautiful painting. What is the difference between those two people seeing the same thing? He is also looking at the picture and the child also looking at the picture. Child is crying and you are laughing. Oh, beautiful. What color combination it is. So what is this experience? Experience caused by what? In reality, that experience cannot be logical. Logically, you cannot explain that. So, therefore, here what we see is just because a thing is experienced does not mean it is Satyam. Just because you experience darkness does not mean it is real. And the proof of that is once the sunlight comes, it disappears. If it is true, it has to go somewhere. Does it go? Or darkness went from this place to another place? No. That is why that example is given. Just like the intense darkness, yata tamisra viliyate, Aruna Prabhayam, in the bright light of this Aruna. Ahamadi Vasanadipate, okay, he Nischayena Vilina Visheshena Nashta Bhavati Dishesha Tatra Drishtantaha Adipragrishta Api Tamisra Ratrihi Tamomayi Darshadi Darshadi Dineshu Asaruna Prabhayam Arunaha Surya Saratihi Tasya Prabhayam Sadhu Viliyate Nashyati Yata Tada Iti Purvena Anvayaha. Like that, you have to connect it to the previous one. Tada, in the same way, Yata Vilina Bhavati Vasana Vilina Bhavati. Tamastama Karyamanarthajalam न दृश्यते सत्युदिते दिनेशे तदाद्वयानन्दरसानुभूतौ नैवास्ति बन्धो न च दुःखगन्धः तमस्तमकार्यमनर्थजालं न दृश्यते सत्युदिते विनेशे तदाद्वयानन्दरसानुभूतौ नैवास्ति बन्धो न च दुःखगन्धः तमः कार्यम् अनर्थजालम्. Darkness and effects of darkness, which are all the net of anartham. Anartham is net of impurities, negativities, causing fear, etc. So that is not there in the. It is there. Verse number 3. Verse number 3. 399. Sorry. Yes. Page 9. Yes. So, yeah. Gurudev writes just before that, just before this verse, Satvasanas remove Asatvasanas. When the Asatvasanas are removed, one is ready for the reception of the great Lord. Therefore, the moral preparation and ethical adjustments for the resurrection of the individuality from its ego and egocentric assumptions is the very beginning of spirituality. Nay, it is also very culmination of all efforts. So, not only the adjustments like amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, etc., these are all jnana sadhanani. They are all very helpful for jnanam to take place. Plus the knowledge received through shravanam, etc. These are all the very good preparations. Then this is all that you can accomplish up to the point of preparation in the form of amanitvam, madambitvam, ityadi. That is the psychological adjustments. Like if I want to go and buy a pot of milk, a liter of milk, I need to have a pot without holes. That is a holy pot. The pot without holes means what? There is no there is no what do you call the word for that? Leakage of energy, mental energy. The mental energy can be dissipated through anger, intolerance, jealousy, all those things, himsa, manitvam, dambitvam, all these things can make me weak. So just like the pot needs to be without any holes, the same way I have to bake the pot in such a way that it is strong enough to hold the content. Then I go to the market and then get the milk, that is shravanam. Right? That is listening to that knowledge. Then I come and do madanam. That is what? To go on finding out what is the right thing and remove the water content. That is, all other doubts I have to remove. Then comes slowly butter. Right? Then take that butter or take that pot and remove all other things. The butter I keep it again in the same pot and put it under the on the fire, and then it becomes ghee. So finally the ghee is where there is no impurities at all. In the same way, the amanitvam, adambitvam, ityadi, all these are all ethical preparations, moral preparations. Then shravanam, getting the knowledge, mananam, clarity, nididhyasan, purity. And so until that only you can go. So that's what Gurudev said. This is all that you can accomplish. More than that is not for you to achieve. It will automatically come to you with such a prepared bosom. Sit in the thrilled patience and ecstatic expectancy, like a lover waiting for the promised visit of his beloved. This hopeful and expectant waiting for awareness to reveal itself is called meditation. So in the Nididhyasana, having got that inner clarity and purity with total attention on the self itself, it will reveal itself. Because you cannot attempt it, you cannot make it happen. If it is so, then it is a karma. It is caused. It is made to happen, right? Anything made to happen, made to disappear also. So the revelation of that self takes place on its own accord and one would not lose patience in that and wait for that to happen in one's own bosom. And that quiet moments of intense oneness will reveal oneself the truth. And that is like the light coming up, destroying all the darkness. Therefore, tamaha tamakaryam anartajalam nadrishyate is no more seen. Sati uddite dineshe, when the sun has arisen. Tata, in the same way, advayananda rasa anubhutau, in that one blissful moment of oneness, nava asti bandha, there is no bondage, naja dukkha gandha, even a smell of sorrow. This gandha matram abhini, not even a smell. So that is the beauty of this composition there by Shankaracharya. Nadrishyate yata tata advaya ananda rasanubhutau sadvasana spurana vruddhitvashat सच्चिदानंद एक रस सत प्रत्यय ब्रह्मानुभवे सति नैवास्ति बंधः अनात्मनि आत्मबुद्धि न दुःख गंधः हेतोः अध्यासस्य नाशात् तत्र को मोह कशोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः. So okay, now the question is, a person who has thus come to have this inner freedom out of elimination of the vasanas through control of the kriya and chinta, all that, but then he still lives in this body. This question also arises in the in Panchadashi also. What happens if a person lives in this physical body, continuing to be there? That is beautifully said here. Drishyam pratitam pravilapayan swayam.
Drishyam pratitam pravilapayan swayam.
Sanmatramanandaganam vibhavayan.
Sanmatramanandaganam vibhavayan.
Samahitasan bahirantaram va.
Samahitasan bahirantaram va.
Kalam nayeta sadi karma bande.
Kalam nayeta sati karma bande.
Drishyam pratitam pravilapyan swayam sanmatramanandaganam vibhavayan samahitasan bahirantaram va kalam nayeta sati karma bande. Drishyam pratitam, whatever is seen appearing, pravilapayan, dissolving, swayam, by oneself with the knowledge. Sanmatramanandaganam vibhavayan, while one is meditating upon one's own pure existence nature, which is of the nature of bliss also. Samahitaha, one who is fully dissolved into oneself, sun, bahirantaram va, externally and as well as internally. Bahihi samahitaha, antaha samahitaha. Kalam nayetaha, may his time will be spent sati karma bande, even as actions that will bind him due to prarabdha will continue to be. Even as the prarabdha brings in all possible obstacles, bondage as such, he would not move away from his abidance in that self. So that is why it is said, viparita artha dhir yavat nishesham vinivartate swarupasparanam yavatra yavanna pradisidyati anargalam tavat samadhi shatkena Nayet kalam nirantaram ityuktatvat. So let him engage in the samadhi of the six kinds. There are six kinds of samadhi that is given. Drishyanuviddhasya vikalpa samadhi, Shabdanuviddhasya vikalpa samadhi, and then Drishyanuviddha nirvikalpa samadhi, Shabdanuviddha nirvikalpa samadhi. So there are six types are given like that. Antar bahir. Savikalpa bahi. Nirvikalpa antar. That is here given Shatkena, Samadhi Shatkena, Nayet Kalam Nirantaram Ityuktatvat, Pratitam Drishyam Namaruva Vilapanena Kevala Adhishtana Bodham Brahma Bhavayan, Swayamcha Tad Sanmatram Ananda Ganam Vibhavayan, Bahirantaram Vasamagyadasan Kalam Nayetaha. Let him spend his time in the abidance in the self, despite the other obstacles created by past actions, prarabdha. So now he is explaining what is bahihi prayatnam. So he says, while one is sitting, one should think like this. What is imambur na sannabito yam na tejo na vayu nakvanakam napi satkarya jatam येदेशामधिष्ठानभूतं विशुद्धं सदेकं परं यत्तदेवाहमस्मि. Yam, this bhuhu na, this earth is not. Na san api toyam, water is not. Na tejaha, no fire. No vayuhu, na vayuhu. Na api tat karya jatam, na kam na kam. There is no space. So externally, earth, water, fire, air, space, etc. are also mithya bhutam. Karya jatam. They are all maya karya jatam. Yad yesham adhishtana bhutam, the substratum of all of them, vishuddham sad ekam param, that which is one single presence, tad eva aham asmi. This is bahihi. Ityadi ritya bahihi samahita. Then, na deho na chakshani na pranavayuhu mano vapi buddhir na chittam yayanti yadeshamadish adhishtana bhutam vishuddham sadekam param yattadevaham asmi iti antat shabdhanuviddha savikalpa samadhi. So here also he has to recognize that antah, inside, na deha, body, na cha akshani, eyes, na pranaha, not pranas, na vayuhu, na manaha, na api buddhihi, na chittam, na dhihi. So this way, Drishyanuviddha savikalpa nirvilpika bedena bahihi antar va samahita manasa tvaya karma bandham prarabdhat vikshepe prasakte kalaha neyaha ityartha. So this is I have seen in Gurudev also, where he had to go through the physical afflictions because of the ill health, etc. Not a single time you will complain. Not even once you can see in his face pain. Usually when physical body is not well, his BP is going fluctuating like nobody's business, and his heart is not functioning properly in spite of the fact that he has to speak every day. He will not complain. That is his practice from the very beginning itself. In the beginning stages, he used to go to wherever the people host him. And 1 month he stayed in one place, in some place, in the beginning stages. Only after a month, the host of the house realized the bed that he had is only 4 foot width. I mean, sorry, 4 foot length. Whereas the Gurudev was 6 feet. So only after a month he realized, Swamiji, whole month you didn't say, where were you sleeping? On the floor. Do you want to say a word about it? You would not say a word. That is the amount of, okay, so what? You can't sleep on the bed, I'll sleep down. What is the big deal? And he has slept like that in so many years in Uttarakashi. So how does it matter? So that ability to effortlessly move in their life without any complaint. So once somebody gave him a coffee, instead of sugar, they put salt. Okay. And that's the man of the house made, not the woman of the house. See, and I will make tea for you or coffee for you. Put salt. Tea. So then Swamiji had first sip. He didn't say a thing, he kept it. How is the coffee, Swamiji? Very good. You should have a sip. When he had, why did you say? I want you to experience it. It is, only when you move with the masters, you know how much they take everything so lightly, which no complaint, because they know this is deviating from a, nishta. This is prarabdha, what to do. This is okay. I don't care about it. These are all tucha. This is a waste of time. So that is how, isn't it? This mind should not deviate. So that's why in case of an individual, even after years of sadhana, considers the pluralistic phenomena world as a true, he is still a seeker and not a perfected one. Then he must go through it all, constantly remembering the Lord to encourage others and to sustain himself. Let him keep smiling. Even though the most gruesome experiences, and he himself is the best example. Thus, let him spend his time constantly with one hand, let him hold on to his feet, and the other hand continue to work in. There is no other way. Insulated with loving contemplation of him and his glory, let him go through life, meeting bravely and efficiently all the problems that stand crowding around him. They are all expressions of his residual prarabdha. So, prarabdha will not end because you have got knowledge. But what do we do? Should we complain? No. Quietly go through that. Not even other person should know that you are going through this. I mean, if you can solve it, do it. But if you cannot, take it. Keep going. Don't stop. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyad Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.